Just gonna hang out a little bit, wait for people to fill in, and then we're gonna go over some realities about January. It is. I got bad news about January. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And it's not about running bad. It's about my personal life. I made a huge blunder, and I relapsed in January. I'm just gonna tell you that right now, chat. Oh man, I'm quite embarrassed actually, just thinking about it. But you know what? This is the bet I made. It's time to lie in it. This was the rule I made for myself, where, you know, some transparency in this challenge. So we're gonna follow through. Okay, so for all the new people coming into the chat, not familiar with what's going on, we are in the last quarter or last third of the road to WSOP 2023, trying to hit $100,000 profit by May 31st. At which point we'll use that money to go to the World Series of Poker. Now, where my profit challenge is different from other people's profit challenge is that it's a net profit. So this is after my life expenses. I realize now in hindsight that I think it would have been a lot better to just do a straight up profit challenge and not involve aspects of my personal life into this. But that's all right. Like I said, we made our bed, so we're going to lie in it. And that's also another reason why this challenge is so low. If I didn't include my personal expenses, it would be a lot higher right now, right? But that's okay. It was the Uber Eats, wasn't it? You're goddamn right it was. So every month, at the end of every month, beginning of each new month, I just cover over my profits and my expenses and, you know, my income and where money is going in what direction and all that kind of stuff. And then try and set some goals for the preceding month to, you know, fix up any holes and all that kind of stuff, right? So here's what happened. So we start off with $3,100 in poker. We'll go through some Shark Scope stuff as well, and a little bit of PT4 win rate stuff, so we can kind of cover more of the poker-oriented things a little bit more specifically. But this is, yeah, 31. It might be a little bit more. Shit. Oops. Might be a little bit more than 3,100 because I have a piece of my buddy Alex who did really well in poker this month, but he hasn't paid me yet, so might be like 3,500, 3,600. I just had like 10% of a good month of his. Made $3,000 from ACR Stormers. So for those of you guys who are regulars, I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but for those of you guys who aren't familiar with what that is, it's their affiliate program where they give you bonuses based off of new signups that you acquire, and then they also give you pay based off of how much watch time you accrue on your channel. So it's tiered. It's really cheap. Tier 1 is like $50, and then I think tier 7 is their highest, and that's $3,000, and that's what I got paid, and that's for accruing 10,000 hours of watch time. I think I accrued like 11,000 or 12,000 hours of watch time. Watch time is hour watched per viewer. So you have 100 viewers and they watch for an hour. That's 100 hours of watch time right there. So I got 10,000 hours. Can I flex my head down, graph up, graph? Absolutely. Let's see it, man. Let's see it. So yeah, I got the maximum payout from Stormers, which is great. Means you guys enjoy the content. Means I've been consistent with my stream. Means everything's going well stream-wise. I think we can do even more watch time, but yeah, things are going well for the first month of 2023, so that's great. Just made a little bit from Twitch, pretty standard. Nothing to say much there. And a little affiliate payment from Learn Pro Poker. So whoever subscribed to Learn Pro Poker using my link, ! LPP, I appreciate that. So that was the gross. We made about 6,500. So the expenses. Here we go. It's about to get nasty. Get ready. So this isn't the nasty part. The way I get new signups is I offer new signups who have never played on WPN $25 of my own cash. It's my own money that I give to them to go play with. They just have to be a new player to the WPN, to Winning Poker Network. The intention is that, you know, they're a new player, they end up on the site, and once they generate $25 in rake, I get a $125 bonus from America's Cardroom. So I actually make my money back and then some. So that's why I don't mind giving away $25 to people. I started doing these $25 giveaways on my YouTube channel, and I got a ton of new signups. I think I got 35 new signups, which I'm pretty sure is like 50% more than my previous best month. So really good month. And I only need to get 3 new signups a month as the like bare minimum for ACR to be happy. So I really like went above and beyond. Now, if it's $25 to hook up a new player and I get $125 in bonuses, I only need 1 in 5 players to generate $25 worth of rake for me to break even, which is kind of what I'm looking for, just to break even. If I make a profit, it's kind of extra. So I was like, okay, well, 35 signups, shit, I only need 7 players to generate $25 worth of rake. Like, that can't be that difficult, right? So it wasn't a big deal. And by the time I hit about 30 signups, I noticed nobody was generating enough rake. Like, I think I was still like down $800 or whatever. It wasn't until the last 5 days of January that I was like, okay, I'm going to recoup some of these expenditures here. Still ended up falling short. Minus $275. So, you know, lost a little bit, not too much. I'll probably make most of that back in February. Some of those guys will still generate enough rake for me in February, but that's what it was. My expenses, $3,200 with the moron at the end. I need to remind myself that I'm a moron. That's not including rent, by the way. Rent I already paid ahead of time, like 3 months ago. I relapsed, boys. I relapsed hard. I relapsed to one of, you know, my worst vices, which is junk food. That meth addiction adding up. Might as well be a meth addiction. Probably would have got more out of it, to be honest with you. Sorry, that was a bad joke. But, you know, for those of you guys who might have remembered, in 2020, which was the preceding year of my best year of my career. In 2019, I made like 6 figures, low 6 figures. Did really, really well for myself. In 2020, I ordered Uber Eats like crazy, like 3 times a day, every day for like 6 months straight. Really, really bad. And that was obviously a huge learning lesson. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again. And I've been pretty good about it up until January. For some reason, January rolled around. I got really lazy about meal prepping and about cooking food from home, and I just went crazy with takeout and eating out with friends. Which, you know, eating out with friends is healthy, but I did it too much, and I ordered a lot of Uber Eats. It's expensive, you know. Every order ends up being $30, and I convinced myself like, oh yeah, no, it's not that bad. I haven't ordered as much as I think that I had this month, and I looked at my expenses this morning and I was like, oh my god, I ordered so much Uber Eats. That's fucking shameful. Mind you, some of those expenses, you know, like I wanted to buy some new clothes, because I buy clothes like once every 2 years. I was overdue. Spent like $600 on clothes that I'll wear for another 2 years, you know. Like, there was some stuff there where it was like, it's not that big of a deal for a purchase, but the brunt of it is takeout. Fucking awful, dude. Like, all of that money that I earned in January is just like down the drain because of this one major expense here that didn't need to be this much. Didn't need to be this much at all. Didn't even need to be a third as much. If it had been like $1,200 in expenses, I still would have thought that was too much given my lifestyle, you know. So, you know, it's one thing if like, okay, I'm going out to see shows and stuff. I did go see a Canucks game, but you know, that's like a $200 ticket. It's not like I bought 15 Canucks tickets, you know. So, yeah, just really, really bad. Really, really bad. Probably 80% of this expense right here is coming from, well, let's say 70% coming from takeout. Just fucking awful. Uber Eats sucks, but pandemic did not have much choice. Yeah, the grocery stores are open. I could have cooked from home. January can be a depressing month. Good on you for being accountable for it, and you'll fix that up in February, no problem. Oh yeah, I'm not doing Uber Eats. I'm not doing Uber Eats on grind days in February. 0 Uber Eats on grind days. Not happening. Fucking awful, dude. Literally 75% of my expenses is takeout of Uber Eats. Shake my head so damn bad. Yeah, it's not good, man. It's terrible. I mean, like, how am I supposed to like win this challenge when I spend a bunch of it on takeout? Like, it's just so undisciplined and so such a poor thing to do. These are fantastic update streams. Thanks for doing them. Oh, no problem, everyone. Like, I appreciate that you appreciate it. Uninstall the app. Whoa. Easy, boy. Easy. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, okay? Come on now. We will hold you to that. I'll tell you what. Any stream that I order Uber Eats, I got to give the community 10 gifted subs. I'm calling it right now. You can clip that. Any stream day in February, outside of UFC streams, let's say, any stream day in February outside of UFC streams, if I order Uber Eats, I will gift 10 subs to the community. Done. So yeah, that's a nasty one. Then of course 20% of my poker profits goes to Brian of Team Turbo Kings. Well, I guess he's part of BBZ. But yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm part of a coaching for profit group with Brian Fight, formerly of Team Turbo Kings, now in the BBZ group. He gives me daily coaching, and I give him 20% of my monthly profit. So I've been doing that since June, and I'll probably be doing that for the foreseeable future. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years. We'll kind of see what kind of progress we make, but I'll be with him for a while for sure. So those are all our expenses. There's our net, 2.4K net. Moron, because I am a moron. This is some moronic shit, dude. This is absolutely moronic. It'd be one thing if rent was included in this expense, but rent is not included in this expense. Like, that is fucking stupid. That is just absolute stupidity. Really, really dumb. So, RIP. RIP. So, put that all together. What do we have? We're at 37K on the challenge. As you can see, my goal bar is actually a bit above that. So we've actually lost a bit of money here. Pretty awful. Pretty awful, man. I basically just like spent all of my ACR money that would have been a good booster on this goal bar and put us over the 40K mark for the first time and spent it on junk food. That's probably not even worth 30 bucks. You know, if I just walked to the store, it would have been $10. You know what I mean? Like something stupid like that because of Uber Eats surcharges. I'm just lazy and that's it. I'm just lazy. So really, 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 really disappointed in myself. I'm not angry at myself. I'm disappointed. I really am. Because this is not how I'm going to be able to beat this challenge. And we're already super far behind pace. And I guess this is where we can start having this conversation as well. A lot of people in the chat have been bugging me. What are you going to do if you don't hit the goal mark before May 31st? That's a good question. I've been thinking about that. You know, I'm going to have to see how I feel at 50K and how much time I got left. And if I hit 50K, what I might do is extend the challenge a couple weeks into May. And instead of doing the full World Series grind, I'll just do half. You know, maybe I'll just go to the World Series in June and stay until the main event. That's still a lot of play. It's not the full series, but that's still like a full-time grind, getting to experience what that's like. If I can hit 75K, then I think I'll still just do the entire thing from wait, hold on. The World Series starts May 31st, doesn't it? I can't remember. You get what I'm saying. Maybe I'll just cut the World Series in half with 50K. And if I hit 75K, I'll still do the full thing. So we got to see how we're feeling, how much time we got left once we hit the $50,000 mark. I think $50,000 is very, very easily achievable. But we'll see. We'll see. $75,000 is going to be a lot more difficult with the average buy-in that I have at my ROI, but it's not impossible. $100,000 shy of like binking something pretty big is going to be really, really tough. Now, there's one saving grace as far as like a real gamble goes, and that's this $100,000 challenge that ACR is doing for their Stormers team, where we've got a series of different games going on that started last week all the way until I think the third week of February, where depending on how we perform, we have points that go towards the leaderboard, and the top two in the leaderboard end up winning a all expenses paid trip to Vietnam with $100,000 in free roll money to play the Triton series. That could be huge because all I need to min cash is like a 25K and I get to keep all the profit. And we're golden. So, there's that. I mean, I'm not going to put a whole lot of hope on that because it's going to be pretty tough to win that. But there's a little saving grace there. In the meantime, you know, I would have to like go sick deep in the Sunday Million or something. And I think that's really delusional to rely on that. I'll play my heart out. I'll still do my best with those games, but doing what I'm doing right now, this consistent low field, low buy-in, high volume grind has treated me really, really well. And I think it'll treat me even better if I continue to make more adjustments. And that's what we're going to do, both for my sanity's sake and for longevity's sake as well, because I still want to play poker past this challenge. I still want to make good money past this challenge. I'd like to make 100 grand this year. So doing that grind is where it's going to be. I mean, the games that even if I had 100K, the games that I'd be playing in Vegas would be the selective games in the first place. Like, I'm not going to play anything higher than a $2,500 buy-in. My average buy-in will probably be somewhere in the like $1,000 ballpark area. And that in and of itself is pretty damn selective. You know, I'm going to play a lot of $500 events, $800 events, $1,000 events. You know, play all the World Series 1,500 events and a few of like the side ones around Vegas, and not go too much higher than that outside of like some certain 2.5Ks that are like supposed to be super juicy. So like doing that with 50K is okay. You have to remember the life expenses involved, the Airbnb, the food, the transportation, like that stuff adds up like crazy. It's that in and of itself is a big expense that eats into your profits. So it's more than just the buy-ins. It's about being there in the first place. Okay, so there's the nasty part of this conversation. Really disappointing. And once again, like, for those of you guys who are wondering, I think, you know, when I hit 50K, depending on our timeline, we'll bring the topic back up and kind of see where I want to go with this challenge. And 75, if I hit 75K before the challenge is done, I will 100% go to the World Series of Poker. Basically is the plan. 50K is where I'm like a little bit nervous to go, when that money could be much better spent elsewhere. 75K is where I can feel a lot more comfortable, and we'll go to Vegas and we'll play our heart out. You know, particularly over the last like 2 weeks, I've been thinking about what I want to do with my year. And there is a time at some point this year where I do want to go get lost. I want to just disconnect from the world that I'm currently in and just go get scared and get anxious and go to a new place that I've never been to before and turn on, you know, uninstall all my phone apps and just, you know, go create a story for myself. So there's a possibility that when this challenge is done, if I hit 50K and I'm not feeling completely confident about going to Vegas, I might just do that instead and just sign off for 6 weeks and tell chat, I'll see you when I see you, and go be a human being and not a poker player for a little while. And that's a pretty strong feeling that I've got. It's been a feeling that's been lingering in me for a long time, but then over the last like 10 days in particular, it's gotten pretty strong. I think I need to go and go have a normal person life for a little bit at some point this year and not talk about gambling or poker or GTO or any of that shit. Not that I'm not loving poker. I still love it and I still get excited to play every day, but yeah, I just want to go be a normal person for a little bit, I think, at some point, particularly when the weather's good. So we'll see. You know, there's a couple of different options on the table, and I don't think any of them are bad. There's really no failing here. There's just, you know, there's going to be a fork in the road at some point or another. I play poker to escape the normal person life, forget about work stress, etc. Yeah, fair enough. I've been a full-time poker player since 2017. It's all I've done. And I've sacrificed a lot of aspects of my personal life to do it. And to some degree, I don't have as much as I'd like to show for it. And I want to kind of, you know, rediscover a little bit about who, you know, a little bit of who I once was, like, you know, 8 years ago, where I was just a little bit more outgoing, a little bit more out there, and a little bit less reclusive. Because I'm definitely feeling, over the last 3 months in particular, like quite lonely and quite reclusive. And I'm trying to make efforts to change that. But, you know, poker can be a very lonely vocation if you're not careful. And I think I have not been careful enough to look after myself in that regard. And so I think it would be really good for me at some point to just be like, I'm out. Thanks for the cheese. And then you guys don't hear from me on Twitter for you know, whatever, 8 weeks or something. And I'll come back with a lot of photos and I'll let you guys know what's going on. But yeah, I think it would be really good for me to just go blackout for a little bit and get to smell the roses and, you know, all that good stuff. What's the next part here that I wanted to go over? Oh yeah, so we'll take a little bit of Sharkscope stuff. So something that I noticed was if I had played a strictly small average field size, less than 400 players, I would have been plus 6,000. So we'll give you a little visual because it just looks cool and makes me feel good about myself. I think it's good to reflect and recollect. Yeah, sounds like you know what you want to accomplish. Have your goals defined. That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like I do anyway. Honestly, I watched, I know I keep talking about it. I watched Normal People last week and it just changed me. It took me for an absolute trip. And now I'm feeling all these things that, yeah, definitely compel me to work in this direction. So this is our year to date. So from January 1st onwards, we played about 900 games with a $24 average buy-in, and my ROI was about 12%. So not great. Not great. This is not the type of ROI that I want to be operating at. I want to be operating at 3 times as much on a minimum. So that being said, there's a couple of things we want to look at, like you saw on my notepad. If we filter this down to 400, I'm going with the 400 average field size instead of 5 because I'll make some day 2s into tournaments, and they'll count the day 2 as one tournament in and of itself, and that'll have 500 players. I feel like that's a little bit of a dishonest interpretation of the type of point I'm trying to make. If we had played less than 400 players, look how much nicer that graph is in comparison. Just nice and cleaner. Much more upwards. We would have made about, what is that? Not quite double. 75% more. And a 30% ROI, which is still not what I want, but that's significantly better. Really, really huge. I looked at, did I put in my notepad file? Let's see. I didn't. But I was looking at the sites that I was playing big fields on, and those were the sites that I was down the most. Pokerstars and GG. So even though I've been making adjustments, and you guys have heard me in the past say we need to play less on these sites, and I have been, it still accounts for big portions of my losses. Pokerstars on Sundays, just for whatever reason, destroy me. So, well, GG actually is the real one. That destroys me on Sundays. So I'm gonna take it even like to another level on my game selection. I think what I'm gonna do is like play some of the essentials. So like I'll never want to miss a Sunday million. Maybe the 22 mini mill. And I'm trying to think of anything else that might feel like an essential, like I must play. Not really anything else. But if I want to play anything else that's big field on a Sunday, I'll sell action for it. And I'm probably going to skip the 109 warm-up on ACR unless I sell enough for like a free roll stake or something. As well as the 109 200k on Chico, even though that's like such a plus EV tournament. It just becomes too expensive of a swing for me. So skip those types of tournaments, and I might just cut out GG big fields on Sundays completely. Let's see if we can take a look here. Since June, how have we done on GG? That can't be right. 200 games, that's it? Yeah, okay. So we've made like almost nothing. More than I expected. But that's only because like the first 2 months were really, really good, but regardless, they just end up being expensive for me on a Sunday. Like, let's do something even easier. Let's just take a look at how well we did on each site this month. God, I can't think straight. All right, here we go. So, Winning Poker Network, not great. I've been implementing bigger fields into my daily grind because ACR wants me to. Well, they just want me to showcase more ACR games, which is fair enough. I mean, they're paying me. I shouldn't bite the hand that feeds me, right? So, I started adding more games, and I started adding things like the 4420K and the 3320K and stuff, which is fine. Those fields are fine. They're just too big, and they affect my hourly pretty negatively. They get in the way of me being able to play smaller fields. So I think I need to go back down to not playing those games, play the $16 MCTs and stuff, and just try and find some more of the smaller buy-ins that don't hurt me so much. And on GG, I made $700 while still operating at a minus ROI. That's interesting. Let's take a look here. Wow, 40% ROI. So I actually did not too bad on GG. What was my average field size here? 800. Oh, it's because I went deep in that 155. That's the issue. I don't want to like rely on going deep on one game just to have a decent graph for the month. You know, not great. Too swingy. Because like this graph could look this way over a small sample in it's only 80 games in January, and it could be in the complete opposite direction in February. So I think I'm just gonna like totally skip out on GG games on Sunday. Global though, I mean, like if I had just played on global all month, I would have printed. Would have fucking printed, dude. Would have made 5K. Every month I just make money on that site. It's ridiculous. 48% ROI. Insane. I want to see what the average field size is here. Yeah, 451. Just a little too big. Just means that we are playing a lot of big fields. Doesn't help that like when you have unlimited reentries and a long late registration, it can get expensive. But yeah, I just got to cut back out the. I don't even know if I'll play the $11 Boski anymore. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I will just because it's so cheap. But stars basically break even for the same reasons. $1,400 average field size. Did I say $1,400? 1,400 player average field size. Like pretty awful. Not great. The only reason why I'm in the profit here is because I did really well in their small field turbos. I did really well in their small field turbos. Anything else to take from these? Not really. What else do I want to show? Oh yeah, I thought this was because someone asked me during the year-end review how I did with turbos and hypers. And for January, we did really well. 40%, 47% ROI. Really well. Game selected like a mofo. Like the big thing though is the field size. Once again, we just keep going back to field size, right? Notice how anytime I lower the average field size, all of a sudden things look really good. As soon as I raise the average field size, it looks really bad. Nice steady graph. There's a little bit of an upswing here where we killed it, a little bit of a downswing here where we didn't kill it so much, but overall, very consistent. You can do well in turbos and hyper turbos if you know how to exploit the fields well enough, and you just don't play massive fields. I mean, it's going to be hard to win a $20 10K guaranteed hyper. It's going to be hard to win a $20 20K guaranteed hyper, right? Or hard to have an ROI in it. So there's a big piece of my profit right there. How do you know which two tourneys are small fields? Buy in relation to the prize pool. So like, if you have a $22 1K guaranteed, that means that they anticipate about 50 players will join the tournament. Which means it'd be a busy day if you got up to 100, which you almost never will. I haven't pulled this out in a minute. Let me give you guys a bit of a look here. So let's take so my average field size, let's say it's 200. So what is that, like 35 get paid, chat? Something like that? And what was my ABI? Let's say it's $20. So was that like 19, 10? My return on my investment's 50. Yeah, pay 1,000, sure, why not? This is about what you expect your results to end up being like. So a really bad 1,000 games of $200 ABI with a 50% ROI is just slightly losing. But generally speaking, you're going to get somewhere in the middle here. And by the end of that 1,000 games, going to be up around 7.5K-ish. Give or take. Pretty damn good. So a downswing is basically a break-even stretch for the most part. And then a normal run-of-the-mill session, 1,000 buy-in session. So that's generally like a month to 6 weeks worth of play if you're full-time. It's going to be pretty good. You're going to make some money. Now, 50% ROI, is that achievable? Well, you know, it can be. I mean, look at this. 47% ROI right here. It's achievable, small sample. But I've seen graphs where guys have 50% ROIs. It's totally possible. It exists. Let's make that 2,000 players. Well, let's say, how much in a 2,000 player field? Let's say 350 people get paid. Same buy-in. Let's take a look at the ROI. If you just got a 50% ROI, you're still swinging. You still lose up to $10,000. 500 buy-ins. You're still swinging really hard. Oh, what's this? My bad. Still swinging really, really hard. If you look at like all of these different outcomes here, most of them are below the median, right? Or the mean, I should say. So you're going to swing. Now, 50%, it's pretty high for a lot of people. Let's say you're just a normal run-of-the-mill recreational. Probably operating at about 10% ROI. And that's, you know, without being too mean, on the generous side. And you're playing the 22 Mini Sunday Million. All of a sudden, things aren't looking so great. The swings are very, very real in a big field MTT. Right? Now, these are bad swings. Let's say you got a 10% ROI in a small field. You're still going to be swinging, but I guarantee you it's not going to be as painful. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? So, still painful. This is if you're running worse than worse. Still painful. Still going to have a lot of nastiness here, where you're losing a couple G's. But not nearly as bad as what we were looking at before, right? Still going to make some money. So, you know, people who are learning and are taking the game seriously from a recreational standpoint and want to learn, you're going to benefit a lot from learning from small fields. You're going to minimize your variance and realize the proper EV that way, and not go through such major swings as you learn, which also prevents your risk of ruin, right? There's a risk of ruin situation here around here sometime. Yeah. So, you know, at a 10% ROI, you're going to want like a $5,000 bankroll to reduce your risk of ruin to almost nothing. But once again, redistribute this to a 50% ROI. I'm operating at about a 40%, but let's just say 50%. That's ideally what I want to get to, is a consistent 50% ROI. This graph looks way smoother, way cleaner, way more achievable to like have a full-time job playing poker. And we need next to nothing to like find, like, you know, if I wanted to, like, I probably could just have like a $2,000 bankroll right now, take out a bunch of my bankroll and put it in the bank. I'm not going to, but you know, you need significantly less. I think I'm about a 40% ROI player at my average buy-in. Just my game selection's off. I in January, in reflection, I definitely autopiloted a lot. I was more focused on the volume than the performance, and that was kind of silly. And then, you know, didn't get the greatest sleep, and I think all that junk food too can't be good for you, right? So I definitely got to eat cleaner, go get some fresh air, get that vitamin D. You know, cook and clean and sleep proper and all that stuff. But just something interesting to look at, playing with numbers. I'm sure I got a few of these inputs wrong, but like they're not going to be so wrong that, you know, my point isn't going to still stand based on what I'm saying here, right? So we'll keep doing these small field turbos. I think I need to cut out more of the Sunday grind and just, even on Sundays, do mostly still small fields and just scatter some of the must-play big fields to kind of keep the dream alive, so to speak. Probably cut GG from my Sunday schedule completely, and cut back a little bit on ACR games. I would love to play that 44 mega stack every day, but honestly, I think it's a little bit expensive, and I could probably find a better game for cheaper that's not going to create so much variance for me. Instead, you know, just as an example, cut out the 3320K as well. I noticed myself over the last 4 days having major burnout, and that was because the last 2 weeks I started playing. I would play from 12 to 12, like 6 days a week or 5 days a week, and I think I gotta cut that. Like, we should do like 1 to 10. Just focus on really good quality, and we'll still be able to get in good volume. Maybe not 1,000 games, but we'll put in some good volume, and the performance will be better. Just be well rested. Performance will be better. I'm sorry if I'm mumbling my words. I had a few drinks with my friend, and I'd like never drink, so I'm a bit of a lightweight these days. Oh, I just thought I'd notice like where most of my volume is going to. So most of it's global. Second is WPN and party. Want to continue this? If anything, I want to amp these numbers up. Even if it's just a little bit, it'll make a difference, you know? Actually, I think these numbers don't add up to 100, so there's something wrong with SharkScope, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You get the point. Majority of my volume is on these 3 sites, and I want to continue that. Maybe even add a couple percentage points, 40% global, 25% WPN, and probably more than 25% party, if I can help it. Lower this number a little bit. So maybe down to like 7%, cut this number drastically to where I'm just playing like 3 or 4 games on weekdays, not really playing anything on Sundays. Chico, can't do anything about it because their schedule is really small. And Play Now is a Canadian site. Can't do much about them either because their schedule is really small. Or I'd add more because honestly that site is just a joke. It's like global online. Might have to add Ignition to my schedule, I think. I think that would help quite a bit. But, you know, global is my bread and butter, and WPN's a close second if I can get the average field size down more and be a little bit more focused on games that don't require such long late registration, which exist. Well, I just gotta be a bit more specific. No 888, their software tilts the shit out of me, dude. Good poker there for sure, but I really can't stand the layout, like, especially when I'm playing a bunch of tables at once. I can't tell sometimes who's in the hand. I can't sometimes even tell if I'm in the hand. And it just takes me out of it. So until they change their software, I don't think I'm going to be playing on 888. Feels like 888 late reg is so much longer. I have no idea. Why 0% GG out of curiosity? Super fast structures with unlimited re-entries, really long late registration. Just causes a ton of variance and gets very expensive. The reason why I'm making so much money on global is like soft and probably the softest out of all of them, but it's not significantly softer than GG. It's just on global, late registration is an hour and there's no re-entries. And so it's just less expensive, just less swingy that way. I play the same way on global as I do GG. I don't need to make that much of a major adjustment, but when on GG, late reg for a daily special is 3.5 hours. And it's a turbo structure. Like, it just gets so expensive. So expensive. So yeah, I'm just gonna like cut back to playing like their daily big 20s and their daily big 10s and that kind of thing. Okay, so things we're gonna work on for February. 1K games, gonna try my best. No guarantees, but I'm gonna try. We hit about 930, I think, this month, so that's good. $300 average or 300 person average field size. So like I said, cut out a lot of those Sunday games. Try and cut out some of the daily majors that I've been playing recently, and really get that average field size down because the proof is in the pudding from that SharkScope I showed you earlier. I think that's gonna be huge. Oh yeah, just a real quick look at our win rate. So I want it to be 6BB 100 next month. It's at 4. This is my EVBB per 100. Which is not good. Mind you, this is incomplete data. Like I said, when 38% of my volume is on global, 37% of my volume is on global, and you can't track hands on global and put it in your poker tracker. So that's what, like another, this is 60K hands, so that's another Like 25K hands ish. Like easily. Brandon, what's up, man? Appreciate it. Much love for the 4-month resub. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Hope life is good. So yeah, this is like another, 25K hands to the sample, which could change. I mean, maybe I'm operating at 6 or 7 or 8 or something. I mean, I'm crushing on global. So I would assume that my win rate's pretty damn high there for me to consistently be crushing there. I mean, I've been crushing constantly for like 7 months. I can't imagine I'm just like sun running there at this point. But given what we can see here with the data that's been thrown at us, like I could do a lot better. What's our raise first in? On the button, 55%. That's really good, I think. 40%, really good. 30%, bit loose. That's okay. EP, 22%, bit loose, but that's okay. Just some simple tweaks I think I can make. Probably not putting in as many long ass days is going to be a huge game changer. It'll help me just like stay focused more often. My limp raise is nice. I've been working on trying to raise my limp raise a lot and lower my limp fold in the small blind. I think that needs to be down a lot more. Actually, what's our win rate in the small blind? Minus 15, and then in the big blind, minus 31. Yeah, it's okay. It's decent. Could be better, but it's good. Small sample though too, right? 55K hands, like anything can happen. Yeah, so like not great, and that's probably a reflection of why we're plus 3K as well. If I can get the win rate up to 5, 6, 7, 8, it's totally possible at these stakes, while also pursuing a low average field size. Like, man, it shouldn't be tough to just like print. It really shouldn't. Like, I'm waiting for that consistent $10,000 months. We had one $20,000 month in October, but we haven't gotten anything close since then. And I really feel like I'm capable of getting there to a $10,000 month with this type of, formula that I'm at. I want to put in 140 stream hours. Just want to be consistent with the stream. There's another goal, 50% ROI. That's like $10 a game, $10 a game, $10 a game, $10 a game, $20 ABI, $10 a game. Like, I could totally get there. If I can get there, I'm there on global. I think I'm there on party. I'm not sure, but I'm not there on the other sides, and I know I can. I gotta pick better with my games. Outside of poker, 12 gym sessions, so about 3 a week. Really gotta get back in the gym. 0 Uber Eats on poker days. No more excuses here, chat. I will gift 10 subs every time I order Uber Eats on a grind day. I will do it on stream. If I order Uber Eats on stream, I'm sending you guys 10 gifted subs, okay? And expect to see 4 YouTube videos out of me. This will be the first one of October. It will be this stream, so if you missed any of this stream today, I'll post it on YouTube. The plan is every Sunday morning, so expect a YouTube video this Sunday morning of this review. And if I can do more YouTube videos, like we're having some fire sessions and stuff, then I'll do that. But expect at least 4 this month. We did 3 last month, so that's good. But yeah, we'll do 4 this month for sure. Any other hardcore goals? Nothing that's like stream or poker related. I want to read more of my books and want to go, hang out with my friends a little bit more. I've been thinking I should reconnect with old friends. I've been telling you guys about doing other things as well, and so I want to work on that. But the main focus is going to be poker. We really gotta settle down here and really zone in, because I think January could have been a lot better than it was. I know January could have been a lot better than it was. So, yeah, things need to improve here. So that's the game plan for February. Look after my physical health and my mental health as well. Really need to game plan that, and probably need to start game planning what to do with Vegas. Get my passport in order. Take a look at Airbnbs or hotels and price comparison shop and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, we'll see. I got to move out of this apartment April 31st. So March, I'm gonna also have to consider where I'm gonna be for May, and decide if I'm gonna move into a new place in Vancouver, or maybe I go temporarily rent an Airbnb for a month before I go to Vegas, or go live in my parents. My parents have an Airbnb. Go rent their place again for 3 to 4 weeks, or like I said, maybe I just fuck off. Maybe I just get a one-way plane ticket to Heathrow Airport and get on a train and just go. Lots of different possibilities over the next 4 months, and it's all going to depend on how much I show up in front of you guys. So we'll see. I'm still shaking off a little bit of that shame with the whole Uber Eats thing. I was very stupid and lazy, but it's not going to do me any good hanging on to that. So we're going to shed that tonight and start tomorrow, February 1st, brand new, with a new goal in mind, and just really put the pedal to the metal. I think that's the game plan. Did you ever go to one of those low cost of living countries like Thailand to grind? I consider it. I've always kind of had this opinion where like it feels a little weird to move to a country like Thailand where you kind of exploit the poverty of their country to live cheaply as a richer person, but it's not a hill that I'm willing to die in. I can be convinced otherwise. We'll see. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to bed. Go brush my teeth. Go to bed. Uber Eats probably cheaper. True. That's true. Maybe I should just go to a country where the Uber Eats is cheap.